There is a tree so nutritionally complete that ancient warriors drank its juice before battle to endure impossible pain. It is a plant so valued by Egyptian royalty that jars of its oil were buried in pharaohs' tombs to preserve their youth in the afterlife. For over 4,000 years, it sustained entire civilizations through famine, disease, and war. One tree could provide complete nutrition for a family. One handful of leaves contained more healing power than an entire pharmacy. Then in 1913, something changed. Western scientists discovered they could isolate individual nutrients from food. They called them vitamins. And within 30 years, pharmaceutical companies like Roche, Merck, and Pfizer built billion-dollar empires by selling back to humanity what nature had already provided for free. But there was a problem with their business model. This tree still existed. It threatened everything. This is the story of Moringa oleifera, the miracle tree that could have prevented the vitamin industry and the economic forces that buried it to protect their patents. To understand why this tree disappeared, you first need to understand what it is. Moringa is not a vegetable. It is not a supplement. It is a biological anomaly that breaks every rule of modern nutrition science. Most plants excel at one thing. Spinach has iron, oranges have vitamin C, carrots have beta-carotene. You build a balanced diet by combining dozens of different crops, each contributing a piece of the nutritional puzzle. Moringa refuses to play that game. A single tree produces leaves that contain all 9 essential amino acids. That is the complete protein profile that nutritionists say you can only get from animal products or from carefully combined plant foods. Moringa just does it naturally. But that is only the beginning. In 2017, researchers at Bangladesh Agricultural University published a comprehensive nutritional analysis in the International Journal of Biological Research. They tested fresh moringa leaves from multiple regions. The numbers defy logic. Fresh moringa leaves contain up to 29% protein by dry weight. For context, spinach, the vegetable we are told to eat for protein, contains less than 3%. Moringa has 10 times the protein density. Vitamin C content ranges from 188 to 279 milligrams per 100 gram. Oranges, the fruit we are conditioned to associate with vitamin C, contain only 53 milligrams per 100 gram. Moringa has roughly 5 times more. The iron content clocks in at 4 milligrams. Spinach, famously promoted for iron, contains only 2.7 milligrams. Moringa wins again. Beta-carotene, the precursor to vitamin A, measures triple the concentration of carrots. And calcium. The leaves are denser than milk. This is not a vegetable. This is a biological warehouse of nutrition compressed into a single organism. The tree grows 18 ft in 6 months. It thrives in drought. It survives in poor soil. It requires no fertilizer, no pesticides, no industrial infrastructure. You plant it once and it feeds you for decades. To the ancient world, this wasn't remarkable. It was simply how food worked. The history of moringa stretches back over 4,000 years. It originates in the sub-Himalayan regions of India, where it was cultivated and revered in Ayurvedic medicine under the Sanskrit name shigru. Ayurvedic texts describe moringa as a treatment for more than 300 different ailments. It wasn't called a superfood, it was called medicine. By 2000 BCE, moringa had spread to ancient Egypt. The Egyptians extracted oil from the seeds, a golden liquid they called ben oil, and used it to protect their skin from the brutal desert sun. It was blended into anti-aging creams and perfumes. It was so valuable that jars of moringa oil were placed in the tombs of pharaohs. Archaeologists have found these jars. They are real. This was not folklore. The ancient Greeks and Romans imported moringa for digestive issues, fatigue, and general vitality. It was high cuisine, not peasant food. The most revealing use comes from the ancient Mauryan Empire of India. According to historical records, Mauryan warriors were fed extracts of moringa leaves before going into battle. The belief was that the plant would relieve pain, reduce stress, and provide sustained energy in combat. This was not superstition. Modern research has confirmed that moringa contains powerful anti-inflammatory compounds, antioxidants, and complete nutrition that supports endurance. The warriors were biochemically correct. For thousands of years, moringa was woven into the fabric of human survival. It was medicine, it was food, it was economic security. And then came 1913. That year, at the University of Wisconsin, two biochemists named Elmer McCollum and Marguerite Davis made a discovery that would change the course of human nutrition forever. They isolated the first vitamin, vitamin A, from butter and cod liver oil. This should have been a footnote in agricultural history, a confirmation that traditional foods like moringa contain powerful nutrients. Instead, it became the foundation of a new industry. Western science made a choice in that moment. Instead of preserving the food plants that contain these nutrients naturally, they decided to isolate the nutrients and sell them back. By 1920, pharmaceutical company Parke-Davis had launched Medigen, a capsule of concentrated vitamin extracts containing synthetic vitamins A, B, and C. It was marketed to doctors, it was expensive, it was patented. In 1927, Merck and Bayer teamed up to release Vigantol, the first synthetic vitamin D product. In 1933, Swiss chemist Thaddeus Reistein developed a four-step process for Roche to synthesize vitamin C. Roche would become the world's largest vitamin producer. Pfizer joined the race. The price of bulk synthetic vitamins dropped dramatically between the 1930s and the early 1940s. As these companies perfected industrial-scale chemistry, they did not discover vitamins to help humanity. They discovered how to own nutrition. Moringa was the greatest threat to their business model. Think about it. Roche spent decades and millions of dollars developing industrial processes to synthesize vitamin C. Moringa leaves naturally contain 5 times more vitamin C than oranges, and you can grow the tree in your backyard. Merck built an empire on synthetic vitamin D. Moringa leaves are loaded with it. Pfizer synthesized iron supplements. Moringa has more iron than spinach. The entire vitamin industry is built on the premise of scarcity, that you cannot get complete nutrition from food, and that you need to buy individual nutrients isolated and packaged from a pharmacy. Moringa obliterates that premise. One tree, complete nutrition, no prescription, no patent, no profit margin for pharmaceutical companies. So what happened? The suppression of moringa was not a conspiracy. It was economics. First, the patent problem. You cannot patent a tree. You cannot claim intellectual property over a plant that has been cultivated for 4,000 years. Pharmaceutical companies built their fortunes on patents, exclusive rights to sell a molecule for 20 years at monopoly prices. Moringa offers no such opportunity. Second, the processing problem. Moringa leaves degrade rapidly after harvest. The vitamin content drops if the leaves are not processed immediately. This makes moringa incompatible with industrial food systems that prioritize shelf life and long-distance shipping. Synthetic vitamins are chemically stable. They can sit in a warehouse for years. Third, the taste problem. Fresh moringa leaves are bitter. Pharmaceutical companies funded research into how to make synthetic vitamins palatable, coating them in sugar and compressing them into easy-to-swallow pills. Moringa required traditional preparation methods that took time and knowledge. Fourth, the standardization problem. A pill has a standardized dose. Take one tablet, get 500 milligrams of vitamin C. Moringa is a whole food. The nutrient content varies by soil, season, and preparation. The pharmaceutical model demands uniformity. Moringa is wild, but the deepest reason is this. Moringa does not generate recurring revenue. You buy a moringa tree once, you plant it, and it grows for 20 years. It feeds your family. You never need to buy it again. A vitamin pill is the opposite. You take one today, tomorrow you need another. Next week the bottle is empty. You go back to the pharmacy and you buy more forever. This is not about health. This is about business models. And so while Roche and Merck were spending billions to synthesize individual vitamins, funding university research and lobbying governments to fortify flour and milk with their products, moringa was left to the margins. By 1942, 1/4 of Americans were taking vitamin pills. By the 1950s, the vitamin industry was a fixture at the dinner table, and moringa was dismissed as an obscure tropical plant with no commercial potential. But here's the part that should enrage you. The vitamin industry built itself by creating a problem that did not need to exist. In the early 1900s, food processing, canned goods, white flour, and polished rice stripped nutrients from the food supply. People became deficient. The pharmaceutical industry responded not by preserving traditional whole foods, but by synthesizing the missing nutrients and selling them back. Moringa could have solved this. One tree in every backyard, one handful of leaves in every meal, complete nutrition, no deficiency, no industry required. Instead, we got fortified breakfast cereal and multivitamin pills. The same pattern repeats today. We are told we need calcium supplements while moringa grows wild with higher calcium density than milk. We are sold protein powders while moringa leaves contain complete amino acid profiles. We are prescribed iron pills while moringa outperforms spinach. The knowledge was never lost, it was simply economically inconvenient. But the tree is still here. Moringa grows across the tropics and subtropics. India remains the largest producer. Small farmers in Africa and South America are cultivating it. Seeds are available. The knowledge is being recovered. You can grow moringa in a pot. You can grow it in poor soil. You can harvest the leaves, dry them, grind them into powder, and add them to smoothies, soups, or teas. You do not need a prescription. You do not need a pharmacy. You need a seed and sunlight. The taste is earthy, somewhere between spinach and matcha. The nutrition is unmatched. This isn't about rejecting modern medicine. Synthetic vitamins have saved lives in contexts where whole foods are unavailable. But we were never supposed to need them as a baseline. We were supposed to have access to plants like moringa. The story of moringa is the story of an economic system that profits from scarcity and suffers when abundance is free. Growing moringa today is an act of rebellion. It is a rejection of the pharmaceutical model that tells you nutrition must be purchased pill by pill from a corporation. It is a reclaiming of what humanity had for 4,000 years before the vitamin industry decided to own it. The tree still grows. The knowledge still exists. And every time you plant a moringa seed, you are opting out of the system that tried to bury it. If this story changed how you view the natural world and the secrets hidden in your garden, please subscribe to our channel and like this video. We are dedicated to uncovering the history that they tried to hide. Let's plant the seeds of the future together. The next treasure will be revealed soon.